everyone. Okay, so can you believe that we only have 2 more episodes left in this season? Like, the fact that that's a fact is like blowing my mind right now. So before I continue on with my review and before I do a couple reactions to the sneak peeks that they released, luckily I'm doing this video after they did the sneak peek so that I could react to them because I haven't seen them yet. But I just wanted to show everyone, I will put it like somewhere, this Magnus Bane fan art that I saw on Instagram. And so I am like absolutely in love with it, and I just really am digging this Magnus fan art. I will put the links down below to the artist's Instagram where I found it, and I just think it's so beautiful. Like Magnus's eyes and like the eyes around him and like his hand and his wrist, just even that looks amazing. And I'm just absolutely in love with this fan art. And I just thought everybody else would appreciate looking at this beautiful, wherever I'm putting it, looking at this beautiful piece of art as well, because I just like I keep finding myself like going back to look at it, and it's just so pretty and I love it. So yeah, like I said, I will link the artist's Instagram down below if you want to go check her out and follow her. That would be cool. She has a few other things on her Instagram too, and they're pretty awesome as well. The Magnus is just my favorite, and I love it, and I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, so on to my reactions of these sneak peeks. They have blessed us with 3 glorious sneak peeks. I don't know what's in them yet, and I think all of you have already seen them, but I wanted this to be genuine because I'm sure I'm just gonna freak out. So, okay, there's 3, and this is the first one. It's called, oh no, Malec is the title of the episode, duh. Okay. So we are going to do that. I'm rambling, I apologize. And my Pandora's on, so let's just turn that off. Okay, let's get back to business. Okay, and play.
Who is Ragnar Fel?
The former High Warlock of London. And one of my oldest friends. Very prickly.
Really? We're just gonna start off with this?
Look, we just need to figure out which one of these warlocks had enough access to Jocelyn.
Wait a minute. Okay, I paused it. Is that Katarina and Tessa and... Oh my god. You guys, I can't... Is that supposed to be Tessa? Are you kidding me right now? I'm in shock. I don't know what to do. Okay, this is gonna be so annoying for me to edit later if I keep pausing it. So let me just pay... Oh my god.
That they could create the potion for her without anyone discovering what they'd done.
By the early 90s, Ragnar was a professor at the Shadowhunter Academy in Idris.
Isn't that when my mother lived there? Could he have made the potion for her?
The little bugger. That's why he hasn't responded to my fire message. Ever since Valentine began hunting warlocks, Ragnar's been holed up in his secret country house just outside of London. For all I know, Ragnar suspected my fire message was a ploy by Valentine to lure him out of hiding.
Hodge, why are you looking sketch?
We'll have to confront him face to face.
You're going on this mission?
Of course. I'm the only one Ragnar trusts. Besides, I've played my last hand here. Even I know when to fold.
I love his jacket. Oh, hello.
Agnes. I didn't know you were here.
That was the point.
We're just on our way to greet a few representatives of the Clave who...
That's awkward.
...for tomorrow's wedding.
Oh.
How long are you staying?
What's going on here? Nobody told me about a meeting.
Magnus figured out that Ragnar Fel is the warlock who can wake my mom. We're just bringing him back to the institute.
I like her shirt.
How can I help?
This is really
Just
long.
Covering a warlock, Alec. We got this covered. Besides, you have emissaries from the Clave to meet. You don't want to tarnish your family's perfectly crafted image now, do you?
Wow. That was okay. Okay, well, that was absolutely amazing. So we're just gonna continue on to the second. What is this? Arby's. Okay.
Now that the Clave has control of the mortal
Look
club,
at her.
Lovely bride to be. Mom and Dad can come home now. They arrived tonight.
I heard. And Max is staying with his tutors in Idris. It's safer there.
And with all the dignitaries arriving for the wedding, Mom must be beside herself.
Oh, is Max not gonna be there?
This wedding is becoming more of a headache than I had planned.
Alec, you don't have to go through with this if you don't want to.
It's what I want.
Okay.
What is it?
Okay? No big argument from you?
You stood by me through my trial, and now I'm standing by you, big brother. And I'm throwing you a bachelor party.
What?
A what?
A bachelor party.
I don't need a bachelor party.
No one needs a bachelor party, but I'm throwing you one anyways.
What?
Actually, Jay should be the one throwing it, but considering everything he must be going through with Clary, I don't want to ask him to do anything. You know what I mean?
I do. Sisters can really drive you nuts sometimes.
Well, that was adorable. Now, what exactly is he planning for her big brother? I'm sure she's making it sound like whatever, but it'll probably just be like a few of them, and then it'll be really cute. And I'm just so excited for this episode. Okay, there's still one more sneak peek, and we are going to play it right. Wait a second. Now. Oh, Jason Clary. And Izzy. Who's hiding behind him? What's wrong?
We have them all in the Institute.
We were attacked by a Shax demon when we went to see Ragnar fell.
The attack couldn't have been coincidence. Valentine must have been tracking us.
Wow,
You don't think
eyeliner on
someone from
point.
the Institute told Valentine where you were going?
There's no other explanation.
No one here would betray us like that. This is our family.
No.
Magnus figured out that Ragnar fell is the warlock who can wake my mom. We're bringing him back to the Institute.
Jace, no.
Not everyone's family yet.
Jace, no. Ah, Jace, come on. So apparently, Jace is not very trusting of Lydia. That's not very surprising. Okay, and so also, I've seen a few GIFs. I think I've calmed down from my fit of fangirling to actually watch the, I don't know if it's an extended promo or what, but apparently there's like a couple extra seconds of like extra footage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and watch that, the Shadowhunters 1/12 promo preview kiss. Okay, play.
Only one episode
Magnus
left until the
Magic.
season finale.
I don't know who I am anymore. There's darkness in me.
No.
And Tuesday.
Literally the, oh!
Love. Your heart beats faster when they walk by. Your skin
Susie?
tingles every time
By the way.
they enter a room. I know you feel what I feel.
All new Shadowhunters. Tuesday at 9, 8 central.
Their faces were real. Oh my god. I'm not crying. You're crying. Yeah, I'm crying. Oh my god. That, I can't. I know I'm not the only one that is freaking out over this. I am so, the Malec episode is next week. It is like 6-7 days away from today. And I just, like, we're here and I don't, oh my god. Before I like continue to just fangirl for all of eternity, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the review because, you know, I still cannot get over the fact that that Ragnar fell is gonna be in the next episode and that they showed pictures of Katarina and Tessa. Like, what? I doubt those are like the actors that they're gonna put in the show, even if they do an Infernal Devices show, which would be amazing. Those probably aren't the actors, but that was so amazing. And not to mention that Malec that we got in that promo. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Okay. So episode 11, we start off exactly where we left off in the last episode. And what's it called? We open with Michael and he is coming out of the thing and then he hugs Jason. He's like, son. I'm like, eh. Before I even continue, let me just say that Dom's acting in this episode was absolutely amazing. Like, you could totally tell that he was like just broken on the inside, and his face was so good. Like with this part with Michael, and then later on with Valentine, and just at the very end of the episode, and it was just, Dom did such a good job. His performance was my favorite in this episode. He was amazing. Yeah, so Michael's like, my son, and Valentine kept me hit. I'm like, no, he didn't. You're lying, because as we all, you know, our theory was that Valentine was using the shape-shifting room to pretend to be Michael, and that's what ended up happening. At the very end. I can't talk. At the very end of the episode. So, like, every time that he spoke words, I'm just like, wow, liar. So then right after that, I assume Clary and Jace and Michael go through the portal, and so we come to Alec and Izzy, and they're having a conversation, and Alec is like, oh, that Lydia is willing to help us if we give her the cup, and if we help her help us. And it was funny because he was like nervous in front of his sister, like he was like messing with his hands, and he was just like, let me help you. And Izzy's just like, you know what, no, like whatever. Or she wasn't telling him no, but she was just like, why do you keep going to Lydia and da-da-da-da. And when she like sat down, she looked so defeated. And then he's like, just let me be your big brother. Let me help you. And I'm just like, I love your relationship so much. Seriously though, Alec and Izzy, they're beautiful. I love it so much. And so after that, we go to Raphael. And what's it called? Oh, this is when Clary and Simon go to Raphael after they went to the Jade Wolf. And they're like, yo, Raphael, we need some blood. And so, what's it called? They're talking, and then Raphael comes up to Simon. He's like, why do you keep doing that to me? And it was really funny because the Saphael, I think I've mentioned this, I never even thought of shipping the two of them, like when I was reading the books, and I didn't think of it until like I started reading, or going on Tumblr and like seeing all the posts, and I'm just like, where are people getting this from? But I see it. Raphael has some mad googly eyes when he was looking at Simon. Anyways, and so Raphael is like, oh yeah, that, you know, something about whatever he said. He's like, okay, lastima. I'm like, oh my god, again with the Spanish. I love it. It was fun. I just love that whole scene, that whole interaction between Simon and Raphael, and how Raphael went to go sit down, and then Simon's like, no, get up, and he gets up. Then that blackmail though, when they're like, oh yeah, hey Clary, remember that time when we didn't tell the Clave that Camille killed me? Yeah. And so he's like, wow, really? Blackmail? And Clary's like, well, and you know, give us the blood or whatever she said. And I'm just like, wow, they're pretty good team. And I like straight up laughed when Raphael went to like that keypad or whatever it was, and so he looked back, and Clary and Simon were just like, just the dramatic look away. I thought it was really funny. And then also, I was thinking, isn't there a blood replacement rune? Like, isn't that a thing that exists in the Shadow world? So I don't know, unless I'm thinking of this differently. I don't know if it was like because the Ravener, blood was, the Ravener venom was like not letting the runes work or something. But I'm just like, don't they have a blood replacement rune? But, yeah, I don't know. There's just, I don't know. We come back, and so we get the scene where Matt and Lydia are walking, and I still cannot get over Matt's height difference. The difference between Matt and Alec, whatever, and like everybody else, because he's so much taller than everybody, and I just find it, I can't get over that. I just love tall guys so much. Anyways, and so they're talking, and then the Inquisitor comes, and like, she comes, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's a certain somebody's grandma. I just, wow. And this was me the entire time that scene was happening, and the entire time the trial was happening with the Silent Brother. I'm like, I don't know if they mentioned it. Did they mention who it was? I must have not caught that, because I watched the episode twice and I didn't catch which Silent Brother that was. So I'm like, are you Jeremiah or are you Zachariah? Because if you are Zachariah, that will just make me very happy. So then after that, we come back to the Jade Wolf, and Clary and Michael are having a conversation. He's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And this entire conversation, I'm just looking at him like, you are one shady dude, man. And so this was when like Clary kind of connected the dots, I guess, and she was like, that's not Michael. And so, yeah, that in the entire time, anytime that he spoke words, I'm just like, liar. After that, Clary goes in to see what's up with Jace, and I really enjoyed that scene. I made a post on Tumblr where I'm like, yeah, you enjoy this last moment together, kids. And then I put a gif of like Tyrion slapping his nephew in Game of Thrones, because like I thought that, and then I'm just like, why would you think that? Yeah, that was kind of like their last like moment together, and they made it. It was like my favorite of all of their moments so far. It was just very nice. They always have like the best kisses. I don't know, like they're gonna be in competition with Malec next week, but like I always enjoy watching them be together, and it was just nice because it was like a really kind of a raw moment between the two of them, which we have gotten a little bit up until this point, but I really enjoyed it. They look really comfortable around each other, and Clary was just like, when they were talking, and it was just nice. It was very Clace, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, watching that was pretty bittersweet, because I'm like, oh, they're so cute. It's about to be ripped away from us in about 5 minutes. Then it was. Okay, so then they keep talking, and they're all sitting together at the Jade Wolf, and Michael brings up Renwick's, and so I'm like freaking out because I read the last 100 pages of the book last week, and so that's directly out of the book when they go to Renwick's, that asylum, and that's where they finally find Jocelyn and Valentine, and the whole secret comes out, and that's what happened in this episode, and it was amazing. I mean, they tweaked it a little bit, but not really, actually. I mean, besides the whole Michael Whalen thing, but besides that, and also besides, like, Jace being there when Clary got there. But anyways, basically what happened in the book is what happened in this episode, and it was amazing. So yeah, I'll get to that in a second, and then we come back, and we have that Magnus and Alec scene, and it's when Alec, goes to Magnus's loft, and he's like, hey, I need you to help my sister. And, what's it called? And Magnus, he's just not hiding his annoyance with Alec anymore. Not his annoyance with him, but like with the fact with the whole marriage. And then he sits down, he's like, what can I do for you, Alec? And it wasn't, he said it a little bit differently than he usually says things. It wasn't like as flirty. It was just like, what can I do for you today, Alec? And it was different. And I loved his outfit as well. It was like blue and it was like cut. And I liked his outfit. Magnus's outfits are always on point. They're just amazing. I legit laughed out loud when Magnus was making fun of the law. And he's like, as you Shadowhunters say, the law is the law. Like, how he said it. It was so, I laughed. It was hilarious. And you could also tell when the camera went to Alec, like he smirked a little bit. I'm like, you found that amusing too. Don't even lie. Then he says, something else, I'll do you pro bono. And I'm like, again, with the subtlety, like, good job. And, then he's like, oh yeah, that anything else that, you know, I can take or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, your bow and quiver. And Alec is like, okay. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's not gonna take his bow. That's not gonna end up happening. Come on now. Then we got to it, and then we have a scene, like a quick scene with Clary and Clary and Luke. I love everything with Luke. I just love him so much. Isaiah's doing such a good job with him, and I just love it. Anyways, what's it called? And she's trying to piece everything together. And she's like, 20 years. And I'm like, ooh, you're getting something, aren't you? Then we have that scene with Michael and Jace, and so they're fighting. Well, they're not fighting. Jace is practicing with Michael. Michael, God, I can't even say it because it's not true. But they're like practicing or whatever, and Jace is like, looks nice. Anyways, as I was trying not to get distracted by his beautifulness, Jace like looked super like disheartened because like he just got his father back. And already he's like, yeah, that you're weak and like you shouldn't be doing this. Like, dude, you just got back, first of all. I mean, not really. You know what I mean? Just go with it for a second. And like, Jace just got his father back and he's telling him already that he's weak. Like, wow, okay. And then they go on to continue with the conversation, and Jace is like, yeah, that I still trust Alec. I mean, he still loves the Spirit of Attack. He's like, yeah, I still trust him. It's just different. And I'm like, that's not even how Alec feels. And it's like, you love him more than he loves you at the moment. And it's just very sad. And, then later on, Michael says like, oh, what kind of a father would deprive his son of this happiness? And I'm like, you would! You're about to, in like 5 minutes. And he did. And it was horrible. And so then we get to the trial afterwards. And it was funny because the mortal sword is in the middle of the room. And I'm just like, oh, Excalibur. But the Magnus is just like, will I die if I touch this? And it's another thing that made me laugh. Magnus was just hilarious this episode. And so the Inquisitor's like, yeah, that if you tell the truth. And he's like, okay. Like his facial expressions are so wonderful. And also Magnus in his suit, also looking fly. He looked amazing in that suit with his, he still looked Magnus-y up in here, but he had a very nice suit on. I appreciated that. And then, so he's talking, and then Izzy, when it's her turn to go up there, she gives this like speech. She's very passionate about like what kind of Shadowhunters are we, and it was just a wonderful speech. I'm like, Izzy, yes. So then later on when Magnus is like, sure, I don't see the relevance of this trial, but okay. Again with the sass. And then Lydia, she goes up there and she gave a lovely speech in defense of Izzy and in defense of like what is right, and that the law is the law. The law is hard, but the law doesn't mean that it's right. And it made me love her even more. Like, oh my gosh, she's such an amazing character. I love her. And so she ends up dropping the charges. And she drops the charges, and then it's like, a big celebratory thing, and it's just, I loved her so much. And so the Inquisitor, there's hugs all around. Izzy hugs Magnus, Izzy hugs her brother, which was lovely. So many hugs this episode, it was amazing. And Magnus even does this little flourish and opens the case and everything comes out. There was like confetti in the case. I'm like, only you, Magnus, only you. So yeah, everything's good. And then, no, the Inquisitor's like, if you think that's gonna stop, you know, the charges or whatever, no. So unless we get the cup, like, you're gonna be exiled in the next 24 hours. So then that happens. Okay, so then we're back at Renwick's, and Clary finally finds Jocelyn. She drops her thing and she like goes to her mom and she can't wake her up. And then, okay, so then Jace and Michael come. And so, like I said, my theory was correct, because, he's like, oh yeah, tell the demons to get away or something. So she's like, demons! Yeah. And then, he's like, hey, let me try it. And so he gets the cup and he's like, ha, like his evil stare. And then so, whatever happens, and Claire's like, yeah, you're not the only one, you know, who knows how to do glamour. And so then she brings out the real cup, and, what's his name? Valentine, Michael, whatever. Michael Valentine, he cuts the, shape-shifting room. That's what it is. The shape-shifting room. And he becomes Valentine. And the look on Jace's face, just, wow. Hurt me on the inside. Oh yeah, and then before that happened, Valentine grabbed the mug and Claire was like, yeah, you're not the only one, whatever. And so it goes back and it says world's greatest dad on the mug. That was hilarious. Okay, and so then the infamous scene of the City of Bones happens. It's in today's episode. And so this was something that I thought they were going to have as the big reveal at the end of the season. I'm not complaining. I'm loving how they're doing this. And so that leaves me with so much, like, what is going to happen in the next 2 episodes, since this episode was basically kind of, I mean, besides all the Lydia stuff and the Izzy stuff, that was basically the end of City of Bones. That was basically it. And so there's 2 more episodes and I'm just like ecstatic to see what they're going to put in the next 2 episodes. And it's going to be crazy. So then Valentine is like, yeah, Clary's like, he's my father. We know this. And he's like, yes, I am your father. I am your father. But then he's like, but I'm also Jace's father. And it's like, what? And so again, the look on Jace's face was just complete, like, I wanted to hug him so many times in this episode. Just so many times. The look on his face, and then he like just goes at him, and then he can't kill him because he thinks that's his father. And then it's like, look at us, brother and sister, mother and father back together again. I'm like, first of all, ew, gross, don't. And so the entire time I was watching this scene, I'm just like, it's so weird, because Valentine knows this. He knows that they're not brother and sister, yet he's still playing along with it, and it's so disturbing. He's such a disturbed human angel person. And so then he finally disappears into that portal he made with the mirror, and Jace's face, I just could not with his face this episode. And then Luke comes running in. The first thing he sees is Jocelyn. He goes right to her. I'm like, aw, you guys are so cute. And so Clary just has a whole bunch of things going through her mind at this point. Like, she just found out her brother is like her boyfriend, and then like Luke comes in, and then her mom, and so she's like, there's like a million things going through her mind right now, and it's like, whoa. So then we're back at the Institute, and Clary is sitting by her mom, and Alec is watching them, and so Jace goes to Alec, and like, out of all of the relationships in this show, Alec and Jace are causing me the most stress, because I need them to just parabatai love each other, and they're not right now, and it's like stressing me out. I'm like, I need you guys to just sit down and hash it out and love each other. So at this point, I imagine that Alec knows about the whole brother-sister thing between Jace and Clary, and so he's talking to him, and Jace is like, oh, that I didn't want Meliorn to be on your conscience. And so Alec just thinks, he's like, oh, whatever, dude, you're just saying that. But no, Jace really means that. Like, he wouldn't tell him something like that just for nothing. Like, of course he cares. So Alec broke, like, they both broke my heart, but Alec was the one that was doing the breaking of my heart in this scene when he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna go and tell my sister, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, my sister? Excuse me, sir. That is also Jace's sister. And so I'm not like 100% sure if that was a jab at like Clary and Jace. I don't think so. The way I took that scene was that like Jace wasn't there for Izzy, and so that's why he said my sister, because like she's mine, she's no longer yours because you weren't there for her. That's how I took it. And so Jace, like, he flinched, like he just like, really, you're just gonna say that to me? And so that was heartbreaking. And then he goes back to talk to Clary, and he's like, yeah, that there's something wrong with me, and Michael or Bound or whatever, he was right, that I am weak. And I'm like, honey, you are literally the opposite of all of these things. And then we get that lovely Izzy, Magnus, and Alex scene, and so Magnus and Izzy are in there, and she's like, yeah, but we lost it in style. I'm like, oh, bro, TP, y'all are so cute. And so Alec comes in, and he's like, they brought the cup, like, you're free to go. And so more hugs between the brother and sister. And then so Magnus, he's like, walk me out. We have some business to settle. I'm just like, you with the eyebrows raising and oh my god. So Izzy's just like, go, I'll be fine. And then he gives her another hug with like, he like closes his eyes and puts his head on her head. That's so cute. And so then we finally have another Magnus and Alex scene, and they're out there, and Magnus is going to get the bow and arrows to give to Magnus because that was part of their deal. And so Magnus is like, they were talking to Alex like, okay, so you get it then, you get the marriage. He's like, no, I like Lydia, I get her, like, she's fine, just not for you to marry. Like, and I loved what Magnus said at this point, because it's something that Alec needed to hear. I just really loved it because I feel like that message was best delivered coming from Magnus. And so he was telling him, he's like, yeah, that I like Lydia, I get her, she's fine, just not for you guys. Like, you guys are both going to be unhappy for the rest of your lives, and you don't deserve that. And I don't deserve that. And when he said that, I'm like, oh my goodness. I love that he added that. He's like, that I don't deserve this either. And that wasn't to guilt Alec. That was like to make him realize what is happening between them. It wasn't like to make Alec feel bad in the sense of like, oh, if I marry her, like I'm going to make him sad or anything. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like also, in doing that, making Magnus sad will make Alex sad, and Magnus doesn't want Alec to be sad, and I just need them all to be happy. And so yeah, and then he says that, and then he gives Alec back the bow and arrows, and he's like, I don't need these, like, you keep them or whatever he said. And then they looked at each other, and then they went their separate ways, and that was the end of Malec for this episode. Okay, yeah, and then we finally end the episode with the Simon and Luke scene. I just love all their scenes together. It's just wonderful. Luke is like such a father to Simon, and I absolutely adore it. And so they were talking, and he's like, yeah, that you know, Clary and Jace are brother and sister. So Simon's like, oh, so they can't, and whatever. And so they did the thing where Luke was like, And so I love that. I love that. But yeah, and so it looks like they're gonna go through, or we don't know yet. We know Simon is into it, but we don't know if Clary's gonna actually go through with it. That they're hinting at the Clary and Simon relationship. So me personally, I did not enjoy reading that when I was reading the books for the first time. There was just something in the back of my head that was like, no, Clary needs to be with Jace somehow, and Simon and her, they're better as friends, like, obviously, because they become, you know, what they become later on, but they're just so much better as friends. And so I don't know, maybe because I know Sizzy's supposed to be introduced. Oh, they had that in one of the promos, and like something with Simon looking out, Izzy looking back at him. I am so looking forward to Sizzy. Oh my goodness, I am loving Emerald as Izzy so much. Like, she has brought such light to Izzy, and I love show Izzy like just slightly more than I love book Izzy, and it's just amazing. And I'm just really excited for show Sizzy. Ow, I bit myself. So maybe they can tweak that so that they don't necessarily, well, so that's Kleiman doesn't necessarily need to happen for a long time in the next season, if they do it at all, because I know everybody's just gonna be like, nobody wants to see that. But yeah, I am like desperately looking forward to Sizzy in the next season, and maybe they can use that to help Simon like get out of it, out of the being in love with Clary. And so yeah, that's just something I'm hoping to see. And then we end the episode very end with Jace looking very sad and me wanting to give him hugs. So yeah, I think that is all that I have to say for this episode. It was amazing and I am so beyond excited for next week. But yeah, please, as per usual, leave all your comments down below. And I want to discuss it with everybody and everything. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye! My next episode, my next review video. Okay, bye!